about 10:30 and we're finally underway. Lots of stuff to get sorted out, getting 5 days food and all our equipment into the boats.
You should be moist.
Finally off, and the tide I think is already turned against us to get around this point here, but we're on neap, so it shouldn't be too bad. This is a narrow bit where it gets funneled through a little bit, but once we're through there, hopefully shouldn't be too much current going up the loch. We're a little bit against the outgoing tide at the moment. This is a tidal sea loch and the tide is now going out, but it's not too strong a current. A little bit of moisture. Water droplets just bouncing off of the loch.
Quite bad. Oh my god, it's horrible.
Oh, these are hard.
Take cover.
I'm getting in shelter.
Jesus Christ. Oh my, hello Dad. How are you doing?
A bit painful out there.
A little bit.
So we're back on the water after lunch, and fortunately we were off when a thunderstorm came through, so we didn't have to get off the water because we were already off the water. But we would have done if we'd had a chance. Not a good idea to be on a large body of water with lightning strikes around you. And we had a bit of fun with some hail afterwards. But we're now back on and heading up the loch. Just a few little showers still, but hopefully today is the only day where we've actually got forecast rain, so the rest of the expedition is looking pretty dry. Well, conditions are beautifully calm at the moment. Very still. The wind's dropped right away. What are you doing? Just let me see you. What are you doing? So after that beautifully calm bit of weather, wind's picked up a little bit again, and we've just spied somewhere half a mile ahead where we think we might be able to camp for the night. Time is 3:15, and we're not planning on camping late tonight. We're going to get somewhere where we can get some shelter, maybe even get a fire going. It's amazing how quickly the weather can change. We're getting a few waves here now.
Yeah, look.
And
It's getting very wet.
yeah,
Not probably.
20 minutes ago it was flat calm. So there's quite a bit of reach on this loch. Probably another 6 miles or more up to where the River Etive comes out into it.
Oh, I got swamped.
So probably it's time to head to shore to look for a campsite. Enjoying the waves, Sol? Huh? Enjoying the waves?
Get me out.
Right, and we found a good little spot for the tents for the night.
Oh, it does just go.
This is the one that's going to take away the storm. You might have to come. I think you're
Like a hydrodynamics thing on.
Come on, boys. Morning. Let's catch the tide up. Let's catch.
Here he is. Roo.
Go that quickly.
Huh?
Got your thing?
It's 6:30 GMT. I don't think I've ever seen him up as early.
Mamma mia.
Yep. All good.
Well, it's day 2 and we were on the water at a fairly respectable 8:30 GMT, but because the clocks went forward last night, it's actually 9:30. Nevertheless, it's not a bad start, and it means we've got a couple of hours with the tide coming in up the loch. Not that I don't think it's making a lot of difference, and it's so beautifully calm and still that I don't think a little bit of tide against us later on is going to matter. A little bit of wind on its way. Just see it coming up the loch or coming down the loch.
Heading right, get out the wind a bit. Alright.
So we were right out in the middle of the loch, and we've decided to head over to the right bank a little bit more, just in case it picks up any more than this. Surprising how it can change in a matter of minutes from being flat calm to sort of good force 3, and if we ramp it up again to force 4 or 5, then it's suddenly a bit too exciting when you're right out in the middle. So every time we get just behind a little bit of headland, we get a bit of respite from the winds which is coming down the loch, and you can then feel the warmth in the sun. It's actually really quite pleasant. And that's the top of the loch.
I'm going to be there, so I don't know.
We've made it to the top of the loch. We're going to just pull onto the side and find somewhere to make some lunch.
Let's feel slow.
We'll have less food by then.
Oh, we were in a jet.
Just seen first other people out on the loch other than us, and that's a couple of other kayakers in a double tandem. To be fair, we did see some fishermen on the first day in some fishing boats, but we've pretty well had this loch to ourselves, really.
Where did we camp last time? Somewhere over there.
We pulled up for a little stop, but decided it was a nice spot that we'd actually camp early tonight. So we're going to put the tents up and take it easy for a bit.
Oh, lovely. Just lovely.
So we've got a new toy, which is this, and it's a, what is it? Satellite SOS emergency thingy, what's it? I think that's the technical term. So it's got an SOS button. If you have a real problem, you can flip the lid, push the button, and it'll send an emergency SOS message to the controllers at the other end of this thing, and hopefully they'd send a helicopter or something, but obviously only to use in an emergency. But the other thing is you can send a what do they call it? A check-in, where you send a message to one or more people that you've got as your sort of emergency contact. So Rachel's already sent a check-in today just to say where we are, and that sort of basically just sends a message with your lat and long, so that people can work out where you are, and it says you're okay. But the other thing it can do, and we've got no phone reception here at all, which is one of the reasons for having these things, because hopefully this will work when your mobile phone won't. So there's not a single network of mobile phone. I don't think, was it even showing
Emergency calls only now. Got nothing.
not even emergency calls showing on this phone at the moment. So what this can also do is give you a forecast. So we're going to try that out now. We've only just got this, so it's just trying it out. So Rachel will push the magic buttons.
Location.
Oh, it's connected to your phone, isn't it? Like as an app.
And it's updating it now. That needs to be up to the sky.
Yeah.
There's 6 AM tomorrow. So 6 to 8 miles per hour. Possibly some 20% chance of rain tomorrow evening.
Hello, this is my humble abode. My head stuff.
Yeah.
At this point, it's a two-room tent. It's supposed to only be one.
So you're in the conservatory, are you?
Yes, this is the living room
And
slash dining room.
there's the bedroom.
That's the bedroom.
This is Rue's new porch extension. What's that tonight?
Sausage pasta.
Sausage pasta. So you dehydrated this before we set off, didn't you?
Thought I'd go for a slow rehydrate on the fire today, because I think the sausages might take a while. Well, this morning was stunning. So calm, it felt like the mountains were going under the water. And then it got windy and it was a bit shit. And then we turned round and it was alright again. So a day of 3 halves.
Isn't that 3/3?
Nah. Don't worry like that.
Pretty sure it's 3/3.
I think it was actually a day of 4/4 really, because there was the 3 that Rachel's mentioned, and there's now the chilling out at the campsite, which we gave ourselves plenty of time to do.
Come and get some tea, boys! Cheese?
Yeah, ham and Clarkson.
Good food. Nothing much else to say. Other than the cheese is also good.
water day 3, and we had a late start because we were waiting for the tide to turn. So we got on at 1 o'clock, and we've got the tide now with us and the wind with us, so we should make pretty fast progress back down the loch, and we'll see how far we get.
Cracker everywhere. One spoon for free.
Stopping for lunch on a sandy beach. Could almost be tropical, except if you look over in this direction over here, they've got snow on the hills and a few white caps out on the loch as well, if the camera can pick those out. Hopefully we'll get around this headland, it might be easier. The boys go between the rocks and then we'll come into the bay. Okay. Yeah, let's keep going, we'll get around this headland. Just if you keep paddling, then it keeps some forward power and some control.
I'm struggling.
So we just had a few waves to contend with there. We just got into a little bay with a bit more shelter now, but it was out there. Certainly you can see the white caps up to force 4 and a few waves picking up, so yeah, the boys all did very well on that. It's the lumpiest conditions they've been in. How did you find that, Merlin?
Tolerable, stable enough.
Yeah. How did you find that, Sol? Going through those waves?
Quite fun, adrenaline junkie.
Bit of an adrenaline junkie, eh?
Yeah.
Do you want your back spray deck on again now?
I think I'm fine.
You think you're okay?
Rather.
It's only when they start, you know, I mean, when we get to the point where waves are coming right over your deck, we've probably left it a little bit late anyway. But we want to keep, you know, we'd probably get a bit more shelter on that final shore, but also the good thing here is that any capsizes we're all blowing into land.
We're not going to be in the shelter very long here because the wind is here, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's actually here, it's quite easterly, is the problem. So we're going to have a little bit of shelter and we're going to be very exposed all the way down.
Headland there, and then we're trying to make a decision of what to do now. It was a little bit spicy out there. It got a decent force 4, and when we were in the exposed bits, we've come around into a bay where it's nice and calm now, and we've got a weather forecast up to date. It's much the same for the next 2 days, and then actually the day after it's stronger again. So got decisions to make.
You might find stuff here.
Yeah, if that can be flat enough on that head.
But then actually you've got no guarantee of anything else.
It has dropped off a bit since we were out there, but there's still a few waves out there. But I think it's all stuff we can do, and we go bay to bay. If we have to stop again, we have to stop.
Going
Get
quick.
into an area that has got very poor landing options though.
Yeah. So
even that beach that you looked at, I mean, it's not loading very well. It might be there, and then you're going to be talking emergency landings onto chossy rocks and stuff.
So things have got a little bit spicy out there 20 minutes ago, and it had picked up to a good solid 4. Fair few waves and white caps. We came round into a bay, got some shelter, got off the water, and we were able to get our first forecast for a couple of days. weather forecast, which actually says it's going to be, if anything, stronger in the next 2 days, including overnight. This sort of east-northeasterly's really picked up and staying, and if anything, this next hour or so is going to have, forecast-wise, the more of a lull. It does actually seem to have dropped right off again. So present thoughts are to head to the van, which is about 7 kilometres away. Probably get there in an hour and a half, and get off the water while it's hopefully not too fast, the wind. You're doing really well, Salt. Really impressed with how your paddling's going.
The wind seems low, but there's still lots of swell.
Well, Scotland hasn't disappointed. Weather-wise, we've had thunderstorms and hail. We've had flat, calm and sunny. We've had up to force 4 plus and everything in between. So a real varied mix of weather as per springtime Scotland. Boys have done really well over these last 3 days. They've had to deal with today's conditions, which is the most challenging they've experienced in a sea kayak. So that was a new first for them, and they rose to that challenge and didn't have any capsizes, fortunately. But I think we'd have managed to deal with it had we had a capsize. We were onto the windward shore where we would have ended up in a pile of boats and paddles, if nothing else. But hopefully we would have managed the deep water rescue with them all, or just one of them would have been nice rather than all of them. Oh, you've been sweet.
There's no doubt you're looking at an eagle. There's no way that's a buzzard.
What's a white-tailed eagle? Because they're massive and they've got white nails.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty blatant.
That's going to be good.